Have you ever been to a location where somebody did something remarkable and it was commemorated with a plaque or a statue? Or sometimes we even have maps that follow the footsteps or the trails of people who've done great things. All throughout our country, even in the world, we have different places that are designated for these people. You go just across the river and you can see plaques and signs that show where Lewis and Clark went through the unknown terrain. You can go to the beaches of Normandy in France and see where the brave soldiers trudged through the water to get inland. We honor childhood homes of historic figures. So tradition has it that after Jesus died and rose from the dead, that Mary, his mother, would retrace his steps that he went through on Good Friday. And she did so while she was contemplating and meditating about these moments, about his passion, death, and resurrection, often with tears of compassion. And so over the centuries, this practice became known as Stations of the Cross. And as Jesus' popularity grew, as people learned more about him, that people would practice this tradition of going through his footsteps as well. And so a lot of people would do this in the Holy Land on the actual places where Jesus walked, or if they were not in the Holy Land, they would set up these stations with plaques or statues to help them meditate on these moments.
The Stations of the Cross is a form of prayer that commemorates Jesus' journey to the crucifixion on Calvary. These 14 stations outline certain moments that happened on the day that Jesus died, which we hear about in the Gospels.
Reflecting and meditating upon these moments can be a powerful form of prayer that helps us grow closer to Jesus. As many people pray these stations all throughout the year, but they are even more popular during Lent, as we prepare to celebrate the passion, death, and resurrection of Christ at Easter.
My experience praying with the stations has really helped me connect with the humanity of Jesus and his suffering and the struggle of making his way to the cross, but also his superhuman, his divine will pushing through that for us.
Over the next 14 days, we're going to be praying and reflecting upon these Stations of the Cross as a community during our morning and afternoon prayers. We're almost halfway through Lent. How's it going for you? Have you made any extra effort for prayer, fasting, or almsgiving? If not, maybe this is a perfect opportunity for you. You're going to see throughout the hallways some pictures posted depicting the event or the moment in Jesus' way of the cross that we're focusing on that day. So that way you can think about Jesus' last moments, but also how it relates to your life. And this might be a little weird for you, something different. Maybe you've never done it before, but we're challenging you to be a little open to growth, to try something new that may draw you closer to Christ. We're going to ask that you remain seated for morning and afternoon prayer. Put away distractions. Maybe you want to close your eyes or put your head down and think about these moments. Like, what if you were there? What if you were witnessing these events? What would you feel if you saw these soldiers mocking Jesus, spitting on him, and fashioning a crown of thorns and placing it on his head? What would you think if you see Jesus carrying the burden of the cross and falling 3 times? So praying these Stations of the Cross can bring us closer to him and maybe understand or experience his suffering a little bit more, and maybe even make us a little more grateful, because after all, he did die for our sins.